Greetings, my dear viewer. You're on the channel The Price of Cheating. The channel is for those who appreciate traditional family values and condemn adultery. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. In one night, my life fell apart so completely that it felt foreign to me. I packed up our things at the hotel, left, and drove home in a daze, barely aware of anything except the road ahead. At a traffic light, I muttered to myself, "Green light, let's go," and slowly let go of the brake, almost like the car itself. As I kept driving, I couldn't shake the shock of how quickly and profoundly everything had changed with Arya. Just recently, I was her whole world. Now, I was nothing. What haunted me most was the cold tone with which she delivered that crushing blow. She showed no emotion, no regret. She simply made the decision without hesitation, surrendering to the allure of some celebrity. Without any explanation, she disappeared, saying only that she needed to use the restroom. Her friend was in on the plan too, and in an instant, she was gone. To hell with her husband, it seemed. And not only me. To hell with the kids, too. She made this choice consciously, fully aware of what it meant. She knew how deeply it would hurt, yet she still left, on the night that was supposed to be ours. I can't fathom how someone who claims to love you could act this way. Perhaps if there had been signs, weeks of tension or estrangement, I might have been prepared for the betrayal. But just minutes before, she promised Dave that she'd dance every dance with me, held my hand as we laughed, meeting each other's gaze across the table. Everything seemed perfect. At one point, I considered picking up the kids early, but knew I wasn't ready to take care of them in this state. A hollow question echoed in my mind. What do I do now? Her cruel choice left me empty, deprived of all the feelings I should have had. No anger, no sadness, only numbness. Reality began to seep into my consciousness only the following morning when I finally opened my eyes. Somehow I managed to change into pajamas, hang up my suit, and collapse into bed. After a pointless shower, I trudged along an icy path and ended up at a cafe for breakfast. Marie, our usual waitress, immediately noticed I was alone. "Where's Arya?" she asked, pouring my coffee. I looked up at her. "You know Owen Anderson?" she smirked. "Who doesn't?" "Well, he's in bed with Arya now." Her face went pale, and she dropped the coffee pot, covering her mouth in shock. "Are you serious?" she whispered, clearly rattled by my blank stare. I nodded, brushing away the dampness gathering in my eyes. Twisting a napkin in my hands, I muttered, "Looks like I'll be needing a lot of these." "Ollie," she whispered, breaking protocol to place a comforting hand on my shoulder. "I thought you two were such a strong couple, just perfect." She brought over an entire napkin holder and sat down across from me. "My boss said I could take a break," she added softly. I just nodded. "So what will you do now?" she asked, genuinely concerned. I blew my nose, adding another tissue to the growing pile, and shook my head. "Honestly, I have no idea. I'm still trying to understand what even happened." She squeezed my hand in support, and I finally managed to say, "I'm stunned by how meticulously she planned it all." As I drank my coffee, I recounted the humiliations of that night, every painful detail. With each twist in the story, Marie's expression grew harder. "This is unbelievable," she finally said. "Did they know each other? Was all of this orchestrated?" "How would I know?" I replied, still struggling to comprehend it all. "I can't believe it," I muttered, staring into the distance. She had been so focused on me, up until the moment he asked her to dance. It was as if someone had flipped an invisible switch, and in an instant, she became a completely different person. I could never have imagined she had such a side to her. Marie nodded slightly in response, barely noticeable. "This reminds me of an old story my grandfather used to tell," I said, drifting into memories, "about a horse thief." "What story?" she asked, intrigued. "It was one of his favorites," I explained. "A horse was tied outside a store, and a man just walked up, untied it, and rode away as if he'd owned it all along." "But the real question," I continued thoughtfully, pouring myself another cup of coffee, "was whether he became a horse thief because he stole the horse, or if he stole it because he was already a thief deep down. Many people walked past, but only he couldn't resist." Lost in thought, I realized I had probably spent years married to a deceitful, cowardly woman who had always been selfish. I sighed, shaking my head in resignation. I didn't expect this. At that moment, Marie's manager seemed to signal her. She stood up, patted me gently on the shoulder, and gathered up the used napkins before heading to the counter. After some time, I noticed my breakfast was over. Empty plates and crumpled napkins were piled in front of me. At home, I began packing. Whatever happened, staying in a marriage with a woman who had so coldly betrayed me was no longer an option. In a whirlwind of movement, I grabbed boxes, packed only the essentials, and left. My parents had retired to another city, like so many others, and the thought of joining them suddenly felt right. Driving south, I wondered, am I running away? Not at all. If my parents still lived nearby, maybe I would have stayed. But now, I wanted to be near people I could trust. Their warm home, far from the toxic remains of my broken marriage, was a bonus. I called them on the way, calmly explaining what had happened, partly thanks to that quiet talk with Marie. Mom put me on speaker so Dad could listen too. They immediately offered for me to stay as long as I needed. I stopped at a gas station, logged into my accounts, and transferred nearly all our savings to a new offshore account. She'd get her share eventually, but given her coldness towards me, I saw no reason not to make her work for it. She'd have to find funds for a lawyer without immediate financial support, which might complicate her access to the best specialists. I even blocked her credit cards, claiming they'd been lost. Her new partner could likely support her. He had made that quite clear last night. I called my boss and used up my 2 weeks of accumulated leave to mark what was now simply a dead anniversary. By noon, the phone rang. It was Aria. I let it ring, making it clear I wasn't interested. Soon after, a message arrived. I'm back. Where are you? Did you take the kids? I waited for the next exit before replying. No, I left. No. She called immediately, but I ignored it, rejoining the highway and sending her to voicemail. To avoid the temptation to respond again, I turned off my phone. She deserved the silence, the same emptiness her actions had left in my soul. Later, at a gas station, I turned on my phone and saw multiple missed calls. From her mother, from Dee, and even from my boss. Seriously? My boss calling on a day off? I realized Aria was doing everything she could to break through my silence, trying to reach me through any available channel. I turned off the phone again, finally firm in my decision. When I arrived at my parents', my new refuge, I spent over an hour recounting all the recent events to them. Afterward, I began to think about the future. I asked them to let me stay for a few weeks under the radar and not to reveal my location to anyone. If it's inconvenient, I can always find a hotel, I offered. But they assured me it wasn't necessary, and we spent hours discussing options over mugs of beer, eventually deciding on a plan. Their house was only a few blocks from the beach, so I drove there, left the truck in an empty lot by the shore, took off my shoes, and let the waves brush my feet. Then Aria called. Where are you, Oliver? Her voice was tense. I'm gone. Where did I go? The same place as you. Yesterday you left, following some impulse that pulled you away from me. Today I did the same. I left and followed my own path. I once loved you. No, you're right. You never loved me. But that doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that I no longer love you. I can't endure such heartless betrayal. But Oliver, she says, what about our 17 years of marriage? I've asked myself that question so many times I've lost count. Did you think about those years last night when you kissed that stranger? Did you think about us? About everything we built together? I don't know if she thought about it. I guessed, and her sigh told me everything I needed to know. How did you find out? She asked. Was it Dee? Oh yes. Your friend Dee doesn't know how to keep secrets, does she? Dee practically stumbled over herself in her eagerness to tell me, like a fly drawn to fresh carrion. I chose my words carefully, letting her cling to the tiny bit of bewilderment she still had. But Oliver, it was just one night, she said. Exactly, Aria. In that one night you gave a stranger something you had denied me for 17 years. Now we both know where your true loyalty lies. Actions speak louder than words, don't they? Her sigh grew heavier. I had never spoken to her so sharply. For over 17 years I had been gentle, forgiving, believing my devotion was proof of love. To her, though, I was just a doormat, ready to take whatever she threw at me. "But Oliver, what about our children?" she pleaded. "Yes, heartless cheater, what about them? Last night showed exactly how much they mean to you. If Emma had needed emergency help, if something had happened, no one would have been able to reach you. What kind of mother does that? Now we know where your true priorities lie." "Oliver, please, it was just one night. I came back and I'll make things right." "And how exactly will you do that?" Silence. "I'll do anything," she said. "Please, come back and we'll get through this together." "As for me, I seem to be managing quite well on my own," I replied. "Thanks." "What? How? Where are you?" "I'm where I need to be, far from a self-absorbed woman who so easily abandoned her family." She sighed and then started sobbing. "Are you with Holly?" Holly Burmeister, the sister of my fishing buddy, a woman who had always sparked Arya's jealousy. Holly was confident, easygoing, unafraid of a little flirtation, which drove Arya mad. I paused. "Wait, did you just call her a shameless woman? What does that say about you? Holly is a free woman, and you're married with 2 young children. Holly didn't abandon a husband and children for a stranger. That was you, selfish and heartless." She cried harder. "No, don't say that. I came back. It was just one night. But that one night was enough for me to see who you truly are. A lying, unfaithful traitor. You knew exactly what you were doing and you did it anyway. That's the mark of a truly selfish person." "I'm not the bad guy here. I truly care about you," I stated. "No, you're not fooling anyone. The only person you're truly devoted to is yourself. And of course, that man you were with last night." "Actions speak louder than words, Arya," I continued. "You sacrificed everything for him. Was it worth it? Was that night really unforgettable?" Her silence told me everything I needed to know. "Come on, hurry up," I smirked. "You'd better get to him before he finds another married woman to spend his Friday with." "Did you see what he said in last month's interview?" I pressed, watching as she began to falter. "No. What did he say?" "He said he's tired of chasing after beautiful women. Claims he finds it far more thrilling to conquer plain, married women, the ones who aren't glamorous, the ones with stretch marks and signs of aging. Beautiful women are too easy for him. He needs a challenge. He thinks moms who put up a fight make the best conquests." "No, he couldn't have said that," she murmured, horrified. "Oh, but he did. It was last month. Didn't you see it? Why do you think he's always spotted with women like you? All the young, beautiful ones are gone. He's left with only the trusting ones he can manipulate. If you want to hold on to him, Arya, you'd better hurry. He'll be looking for a new thrill by Friday." Her restrained tears turned into open sobbing. "You're just saying all this to hurt me," she whimpered. "And why would I want to hurt you?" Though she knew the answer, she whispered quietly, "Because I love you." "Why would I want to hurt you, Arya?" I asked again. Because I hurt you," she admitted, barely audible through her tears. "Exactly. You knew it was wrong. That's why you couldn't look me in the eye afterward. You snuck in through the back door, asked Dee to cover for you, and thought you could sweep it all under the rug. Because for Arya Carlyle, love means apologizing afterward, after publicly humiliating her husband. And she still thinks he'll forgive her." I took a deep breath. "No, Arya, this isn't just selfishness. It's delusion. But Oliver, it's over. It was only one night. I'm here now, and I'll be better," she pleaded. "You haven't answered the most important question. How are you going to make up for the pain you caused me last night? How?" She was silent, at a loss for words. Just then, a message came through from my mom. "Dinner at 9. I have to go. Someone who genuinely cares about my feelings is making me dinner." "Who is she?" she screamed so loudly that I had to pull the phone away. "Is it Holly? I swear I'll kill her." Ah, the maturity of the modern woman. "How long do you think I'm going to put up with this, Arya?" A heavy silence hung between us. "Forever," I replied, calmly but firmly. "Remember that, Arya. I'm done. Who would go back to a woman who's proven she doesn't care? You had your perfect night, congratulations. Now you can wonder every day if that night was worth throwing away 17 years of marriage. The silence between us was palpable, and I dealt the final blow. And maybe one day you'll ask yourself if it was worth it for your children to grow up knowing their mother destroyed their family. One night. One impulsive night that meant more to you than all the years we spent together raising our children. When they grow up, will they be able to find any self-respect? And now you expect my support after everything you've done? Don't count on it. Goodbye. Soon, I got a job closer to the family and enjoyed peaceful holidays. The divorce went smoothly, with a fair division of property. Although I returned half the money, it was satisfying to slightly delay the process just to make her a bit uncomfortable. It came as no surprise when a few husbands, fed up with someone's antics, decided to put an end to his career. Emma and Tommy grew up strong-willed and, understanding why our family had fallen apart, became little rebels in their own right. Eventually, Arya reluctantly agreed for the kids to move in with me, and they thrived. Maybe it was the warm climate, or maybe it was having a devoted father nearby. Meanwhile, friends back home found it only fair to warn anyone dating Arya about her tendency to betray. Realizing her reputation, she left town, occasionally reaching out to the kids, but after 3 months, she disappeared. They say the truth always finds its way, and sometimes it brings the right person along. For me, that was Nancy, 7 years younger, also divorced, with a daughter Tommy's age. It may sound like a cliché, but life is full of surprises, and since then, we've been happy. As for Arya, she soon found a younger man who brought her some happiness, until one night he left for a woman his own age whom he met at a dance. At least he didn't leave without a word. He waved as he walked away with his new partner. Since then, Arya stopped seeing anyone, spending her days in an apartment with a couple of stray cats, or so the kids say. Karma, it seems, is still around, though it has softened over time. This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.